Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eric Smith, your host of the Entrepreneur's Voice Show, and very excited to have you on tonight. And we look forward to many fantastic episodes. As we know, the Entrepreneur's Voice Show is all about helping you and your business create maximum profitability. And if you do not have a business and you're thinking about starting a business, we're going to make sure you have all the tools necessary to start, create sustainability, profitability, and make sure you get your share of the market. And when you're ready to sell that business, be sure you have an asset that is worth what you want to get. Today's show is going to be very interesting because we have as guests live from Plant City, Florida, Jim and Carolyn Young with Tampa Trade Exchange. They are representatives of the ITEX Corporation, and what we're going to be discussing tonight is an amazing currency situation that can change the face of your business. Being able to allow you to make purchases without having to interrupt your cash flow significantly. Cash flow is king when it comes to your business. So we'd like to let you know where the environment you're watching this. If you notice, you're inside your Facebook page. So right up above the video, there is a share button. We're going to be talking to entrepreneurs and business owners. Please make sure you share this to invite your friends to come in to watch this training. And this information is free. They can benefit. Tweet it out, send it out to your Google+, and then down below the comments and the form, there is a comment form, actually, sorry. There is a comment space. Please tell us where you're listening in from. I know we have people all over the country that wanted to hear about this information, but please type in where you're listening from, and then if you have questions, we're going to be monitoring these questions so that our experts can answer them, because this is for you and your business. So again, without further ado, I'd like to encourage you to just sit back, relax, and learn how to add some profits to your business. I want to welcome to the show Jim and Carolyn Young. How are you young folks doing?
Wonderful.
Hi, Eric.
How are things out in Plant City these days?
Doing great. Nice bedroom community for Tampa Bay. We love it.
Fantastic. Well, I tell you what, I'm excited to have you guys share with our listeners what this is really all about and how they can benefit their business. Just tell us a little bit about yourselves, if you don't mind, please. Y'all look like a lovely young couple in love. How long y'all been married?
Coming up 28 years.
28 years. Wow, and she still is smiling with this guy. That's awesome. The ITEX opportunity. Kind of give us a little history and a background, how you became involved with that, why you came involved with it, and some of the simple benefits that you've noticed business owners are experiencing.
Okay. 14 years ago, I was raised in Clearwater, Florida, big family over there. Someone told us about this. We'd come over to Plant City to get a business going, and we had heard about this trade. Didn't think too much of trade because didn't think business owners did that much each year. Maybe one or two trades, and that was it. Didn't understand the business, but a member that was in the ITEX Trade Exchange that knew us told us about it, and we looked into it. Actually contacted the company since there was no franchise around here that we could join in Tampa Bay. And one thing led to another, and we were introduced to the idea of us actually taking and acquiring the franchise for the Tampa Bay area. And that's what Carolyn and I have worked from St. Pete, Clearwater, all the way to Lakeland, is basically our territory. We're basically one of about 90 franchises across the country, most major cities in the US and Canada. And after 14 years, we've done about $53 million worth of transactions that we have helped our client base, our members, business owners, facilitate their buying and selling. And what it does, you ask a question.
53 million, you said?
53 million to date and counting. So, you know, it's a lot more when you realize what it does for a business. We bring a business owner extra revenue, extra clients, and with that extra revenue, they can then purchase things for their business that they don't have to use their cash flow. And then a little side benefit that always makes Carolyn and I smile. It also enhances the business owner's personal life, family life, because they now have access to excess business, and it gives them an opportunity to do things for their family that they haven't had the cash flow or couldn't use their cash flow to do, because they got to save it and hoard it and protect it for their monthly expenses running their business.
Okay, so let's just take that step by step. When it comes to the business owner, how does this help the business owner? Kind of give me a synopsis of exactly what the trade exchange platform does. And let's just take this step by step, because you said some very powerful things that I want every business owner that's listening to be able to get the value out of this. What exactly is the program first?
Okay. Basically, we take on a client, we meet with them, explain how it works. There's no charge to joining the ITEX trade exchange, so they can join with no cost. And then they start trying out our services. And we wear basically two hats. One, we bring a client extra ITEX trade dollar revenue by selling their product or services, excess time on their calendar, excess products that they have in their back room, anything that will bring them excess or extra revenue. And we bring them excess ITEX trade dollars. With that, they turn around and buy the things that they need that we can find for them in our system. And our system, even though there's about 400 businesses in the Tampa Bay area, with all total nationwide, we've got over 23,000 business owners. So if we can find what they need, whether it's printing, marketing, painting, car repair, eyeglasses, you know, CPA, attorney, if we find it, we bring them extra business to pay for it, saving their cash flow. And what they do, how our company runs itself, naturally also on cash, is we get a fee, a commission fee for setting up those trades. If a
real estate broker, there's a trade commission, 6% basically on any transaction.
And as an example, a dentist, if a dentist had Thursday afternoon from 3 to 4 empty, and we brought him a client that needed a crown, and he picked up an extra $1,000 of ITEX and turned around and bought, let's say, a $1,000 billboard. What did he pay for that billboard? Really, he traded his time. He had an extra 3 to 4 hour, and between 3 and 4 on Thursday afternoon, as an example. We put an ITEX client in there. He got paid $1,000 of ITEX dollars, turned around and paid one of our clients that have billboards $1,000 of ITEX. That client, the billboard client, then turns around and uses $1,000 how they need it. So it mirrors the cash world, but the unique thing is it allows a business owner to buy things at their wholesale cost. And on a one-on-one with us, we can get into a little more detail on that.
That's interesting. So when you say a wholesale cost, can you give me an example of how that process has worked, you know, for a business owner?
Okay, right now,
another example.
Right now, we've got a restaurant that we just helped buy some tables and chairs, and it was about $1,000. Now, for them to trade what they have, which is restaurant food, 1,000 retail of restaurant food A restaurant is actually, their food cost is about a third of their rest. If you buy a $30 steak, they have approximately about $10 in there in the cost of that food. So that means they're trading, they'll buy something for 30 bucks through us. They're really paying about 10. That's their cost of doing a trade. You know, an attorney, a CPA, they had their costs back in law school and, you know, in college when they got their degree. So right now they're trading empty time. A mechanic, they trade $1,000 worth of their services, a repair on a car, and go and buy a $1,000 billboard as an example. They paid about $350 for that billboard. Why? Because that's the cost of parts to do $1,000 worth of work. So that's typically why I say at your wholesale cost. Now, the ones that do great are the service guys, you know, the professional, the CPA, the attorney, the payroll person, you know, someone that doesn't have too much parts or material. So.
However, anyone's going to do good, and it's going to be good as long as it's a good tradable item and it's got a decent profit margin. As long as they have a profit margin of 40% or, you know, around 40%, 30-40%, they're going to do good. It's better than paying 100% out of last month's profits, 100% out of their profits. This way, they're still buying at wholesale cost. But obviously, the less, you know, profit margin they have in there, the better. I mean, the more profit margin they have in there, the better.
Go ahead.
Well, let me just try to break this down for another example. Let me just use myself as an example. Let's say I'm an ITEX person, and I support business owners when it comes to their services on Google, YouTube, helping them with their marketing. So if I charge for a setup cost for something $1,000, and I say I negotiate with the business owner, okay, I'll accept ITEX dollars. You could pay me $500 in ITEX dollars and $500 cash. So I saved them $500 of operating cash. They paid me $500 ITEX dollars. Then that goes into my account. Is that correct?
Well, we actually wouldn't. That's not allowed. We don't do the part.
Well, I mean the $500 ITEX dollars that they pay.
Well, the ITEX. Yeah, the ITEX that they pay you, that comes from us moving their empty time.
Yes, it would go into your account if you're an ITEX member. However, there is a $5,000 rule. The first $5,000 of any transaction should be 100% ITEX, unless you had to outsource something. Like if you if you went to a mechanic and he's doing parts off of the shop and fixing your car, you're going to expect him to do it at 100% trade. The bill might be $1,000 or $1,200. But if he says, "Oh, Eric, you need an engine, and we're going to have to bring that in for you," okay, he's not going to be able to do that. He's going to have to go buy that engine and bring it in. Okay, now we're going to expect you to pay in cash for the engine, and then the rest of it on trade. But typically, 5,000 and under is 100% ITEX.
Okay.
And it would go into your account, then you have those dollars to buy what you want.
Right. So if I need, let's just say I did the full $1,000. Let's say you were a client. You came to me and you said, "Do you accept ITEX?" And I said, "Well, of course I do." And so then we did an exchange. I provided you $1,000 worth of my service. You paid me $1,000 in ITEX dollars. I only have my time and my service tied up, but now I have $1,000 that I could use to make purchases if I need office furniture or something else.
Absolutely.
Right. Right.
Perfect.
And IRS, one question that always comes up when we do these kind of programs, so I may as well hit it now. Business owners want to know what IRS thinks of this. And just keep in mind, IRS has one concern. They want you to treat the ITEX dollar revenue that you take in the same as your business cash dollar that you take in. As long as you treat it the same, everything's smooth. You don't keep it under the table or not declare it. declare it just like any other revenue that you bring in.
Because you will get a 1099-B from ITEX
At the end of the year, if we brought you 10,000 this year, you'll get a 1099-B showing that you got $10,000 worth of revenue through ITEX. So you add that to your cash business this year. And then, of course, anything that you write out of your ITEX account for business expenses is totally written off as a business deduction, same as the way you write off business deductions in your cash checking account.
Perfect. So give me an idea of maybe some of the success stories, bigger success stories that you've well, not you per se, but your clients have had using this as a strategy for their business.
Oh, go ahead with, of course. The one client came to you, Jim, a while back, and he said, Jim, I'm being sued by a company in California. I'll let you take it from there.
He was being sued by a company. They were dragging it out. It had been over a year now. It's still in courts. He said, I just can't keep on fighting it in courts. I'm going to have to back out of the court case. And of course, then at that point, he would lose. So basically, he had a $300,000 debt that would come out of it that he couldn't pay. So he had me contact the company.
Well, he would have had to file bankruptcy.
Yeah, he couldn't have paid it. So he would have filed bankruptcy. So he called me and said, see if they would take ITEX. I called them, spent several weeks talking to the top guy and the attorneys, and finally they came back and said they would accept that. They saw that, the guy would have gone bankrupt and not been able to pay it. So they took the $300,000 and then they spend it on, hey Jim, we need this in Atlanta office, or we need this in Dallas office. They spend it on things they need to. And I was able to bring him an extra $300,000 because why? My clients buy at their wholesale rate, so I could bring him business much easier than he can go out in the cash world, in the highly competitive cash world, and try and run up an extra $300,000 worth of business.
So, right. So over 3 months, we were able to bring in, because we can look to our whole network of 23,000, finding the media buyers that he needed, and bring him 100,000 over a course of 3 months each month, and took care of that, and everyone was happy. It was a win-win-win. That's what we do. It doesn't matter if it's $300, 300,000. It doesn't matter. It's just helping our clients, and that's what makes us feel good. It's a win-win-win business.
And by the way, his cost runs about 25%. So that means that $300,000 debt, if he tried to pay it himself with cash, is $300,000. By coming through us, it's about $75,000. So we took a $300,000 debt down to $75,000. So that's an example.
Okay.
Another example is a hotel.
Well, hang on. I want to come back. I want to come back to that example. Hold that one real quick.
Yeah.
Just want to do it. Just need to take a quick break here. We're listening to the Entrepreneur's Voice Show. Today, our topic we're discussing is how to create savings in your business without having to use cash dollars. And we're talking about the ITEX trade currency system of allowing you to use trading with your business, of your time and your services. We're interviewing Jim and Carolyn Young, the local franchise owners for the Tampa Trade Exchange. You're listening to this in your Facebook page. If you have questions for Jim or Carolyn, right below in the comment stream, drop your questions, and we're monitoring those, and we'll get those questions answered. Again, please share this link. There's a button up above. You can share with your network, your Twitter, Facebook, Google+. Share that into your network if you feel that other business owners need to understand ways that they can bring cost-saving measures into your business. We're going to jump back in with Jim and Carolyn. And again, we're going to monitor your questions, so feel free to put those questions down there. And if you'd like to be contacted, if this sounds beneficial to you, you see that there's some ways that you can integrate this in your business, or you have further questions and you would like to have a one-on-one with them to be more specific for your business, there's a form right below the video feed here. Just put your name and information and just ask for just a few things. You're not going to get spammed or anything like that, but that's going to go to them so that they know who they're talking to, what your business is, and a contact phone number and an email. That's all the information we want, nothing more. We don't want to know your revenues of your business or cash flow or anything like that. So feel free to fill that form out, hit submit, and we'll get that, and they'll follow up with you within the next 24 hours. Jim, Carolyn, let's dive back into this. You were talking about some examples of things how businesses have been able to use this. Tell me about this hotel and how they were able to leverage this strategy with your system.
Okay.
Well, those are big ones. Let me throw one other one in before that. Here's another kind of an average, everyday type of client. He was a business coach. He called, wanted to possibly do ITEX. He said, Jim and Carolyn, the only thing I know right now I'm going to be using it on is I need to move because I'm relocating from Knoxville, Tennessee to the Tampa Bay area. I want to expand my business down there. And he said, so I'll put some ITEX people in my business coaching classes if you'll help me get a mover to move me down. And what was the other thing he needed besides that? He needed two things.
Advertising here in the Tampa Bay area.
To get that going for cash. So I'll let you take it from there. What did he end up with? He ended up with...
Well, it was really sharp. 3 months later, he sent me an email and say, Jim, you moved me down on trade. You know, you moved me down. You brought me a new client to pay for that move. Then you got me advertising. You brought me another client to pay for that. Every time I had a business coaching seminar, I might have a conference room full of 8, 10 people. You put 2 or 3 or 4 more people in there to pay for these extra things. I got my car worked on. I got business lunches. I was able to go golfing on trade, taking some of the CEO clients, potential clients out. And he added up at the end of the email that he had done $11,000 during that first 90 days. And he said with his fees of $1,300, $1,300 was a lot better in fees than paying out $11,000 in cash. So that's a very good example of how I can help a business owner get going after he's already started his business.
Oh, one other one was very important. His wife wanted to put their 2 children in a Montessori school, and we were actually able to get both children into the Montessori. And then what did we do for the Montessori school? We got them advertising into a parent magazine,
with their trade dollars.
With their trade dollars. So it's a real circle of everyone helping everyone. It's awesome.
The hotel you spoke about, they've done over $10 million worth with me to date now. And that we've helped them do purchases from advertising, marketing, pool remar site, paver blocks, beds, carpeting. It just goes on and on, $10 million worth of buys and sales. And, what are they trading? Empty rooms when they're not full. And naturally, during the wintertime, we can't get in there because that's when they're full. They want every room they can, have available for their cash business. Cash is king. But when they're empty, why, they wanted $40,000 worth of beds. Why not trade $40,000 worth of empty rooms in their off season for those beds instead of taking it out of their cash flow from their winter revenue? Makes sense. It's really, I like a major national furniture company gave us a good tagline. What we have here for the business owner is a smart financial business tool. There you go.
And then you take another one of my hairdressers. Her daughter was getting married. So what did we get her? We were able to get her limo service. We were able to get her wedding invitations. We were able to get her catering and cake on trade. So we pretty much helped put the whole package together as much as we could. I think we even were able to get some tux rentals on trade. It's pretty amazing. And all she did was do haircuts for the year. And, shampoos, haircuts, perms, colors, the typical thing. Pretty amazing when you can do that.
That's awesome. So a couple other questions. that I noticed here is, just to reiterate, what kind of business does this work best for, this particular system?
Well, naturally, if you're thinking about when you want to do a trade, you want the lowest cash out of your pocket to make the trade work, make the purchase. So service industry is the best.
So when you say service industry, I'm thinking like myself, or let's say you're a business concierge or a personal concierge. You just have your time involved.
Attorney, realtors,
Hotels.
CPAs, hotels, restaurants, chambers of commerce.
We have two right now. We have Brandon Chamber of Commerce, Platte City Chamber of Commerce. So I mean,
Okay.
like that, the lower the cost, the better. But it really, I think I really have to take that back away. It really doesn't matter as long as they got a decent profit margin. It's better than them paying 100%. We have some other clients that do have higher. You know, there is a point where it's too high. They don't have enough profit margin. Then it's not a good trade. Well, electronics are not going to be. You will not find them in trade. They have too small a profit margin. Tires, very small profit margin. You're not going to find those in the trade world. So those types of things just won't work. But outside of that, most things are going to work. It's just some are going to have a better advantage than another. But as long as they're still getting a good, decent break when they're turning around and making their purchase, I think it's a good deal.
Very. I mean, think about it.
Very well.
If you want to do something, and you say to yourself, gee, I wish I had done an extra 2,000 this month so I could have done this. I could have bought that. If we can get that for you in our 20-some thousand exchange, and we bring you the business to do it, it's the same as if you had gotten that extra business in cash. Still got it done.
When you say we bring you, that takes me to, how is this? Tell me about your team. Tell me, let's say I join. Person fills out the information. They fill out the form. You contact them. You say, okay, I want to join. First question, how much does it cost for me to join? Then next, what happens from there? Give me that process of being entered into your program and then using your program. Okay,
well, it costs nothing to join. We've made it so easy. We want people to know and it's very simple process. We can do an invite, we can do an application online. There's so many different ways. However, it costs nothing to join. It costs nothing to cancel. They can cancel in 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. It doesn't matter. So if ever anything's not feeling comfortable, they can back out. However, we're going to make sure that's not the case because we're going to take care of them. It costs, there's only other fees involved are the 6% processing fee, 6% on a transaction. When you make a sale, if you sell your services, Eric, then remember that 6% of whatever that is, that $1,000. Once you turn around and spend that, if you spend the $1,000, then it's at 6% again. So it's 12 cents on the dollar is what it amounts to. Now, the only other fee that's involved, that's the one, the transaction fees. And then this association fee, which is monthly, or we call it per cycle, every 28 days to be exact. And what that is $30 a month. That's $20 cash, $10 off of your trade. So 20 out of your cash, $10 off of your trade. We don't want any of our members paying that. We have a way for you to get rid of that, and that's the way we grow, through referral. So you give us one other business referral that joins, and that each one referral waives those association fees for 3 months. Now, what does that association fee? It gives you a lot. It gives you a personalized trade director to take care of you.
You have something beeping in the background?
Let me find out what that is.
The process.
While she's finding that,
Yeah.
Jim, let me just say, while she's finding that out, one of the benefits of why I'm doing this show for you, if you're those that are listening, if you look right up above my head, there is a referral link. With this system that I'm using for broadcasting, you can simply grab a referral link and then send this page out to your friends. Send this page out. This will be up for a week. When you refer people and they come in and they fill out this survey, let's say you decide you want to be a part of ITEX, we will be able to monitor your referrals because you will get an affiliate link of this presentation, this broadcast. This is going to be a replay left available. So then anytime someone fills out that survey, then you can get credit for that referral as well. If you send this in and your people are listening and watching this presentation. So please take advantage of this opportunity. I must give a testimony real quick. I'm an ITEX member myself, and I've done both sides. I've been able to join some business networks with just using trade dollars. And then because of my expertise and my time, I could leverage and just simply use my hourly coaching that I use. I have an hour, $150 an hour consulting fee. I consult for a couple of hours. I can get paid in my ITEX dollars that goes into my account. And then when I want to join some of the other associations that accepts ITEX, I pay with that without having to use cash flow. So it's a wonderful system. I personally have benefited from it, and I highly recommend that you take advantage of this as well. So continue on. You were mentioning the process. There is no cost to join. The 12%, on the dollar, 12 cents on the dollar exchange fees. And then you were mentioning the monthly. So go ahead and pick up from there, Carolyn.
Okay, I think I finished. The monthly, though, we don't want you to, the referral program is how you get rid of the monthly. So that's very easy. That's how we grow. And really, that's it. Now, the first thing we do is personally come back and sit down and do a personal orientation with you. We kind of go over everything, find out the bigger plans, how we can really assist you in your business. We personally assign you a trade director that's going to be sort of like somebody on your staff in the back room that you can call at any time and have your right arm and have her help you. You say, I need to have some advertising. I need to find some advertising that's going to work for me in North Tampa. See what you can get me. And she's going to be there all the time for you. You're going to get a ITEX checkbook in the mail. You're gonna download a mobile app that you can pay or be paid right on the phone. It's pretty cool, sweet process. But we walk you all through it. You don't have to know. We are going to teach you.
Well, I've got a quick question then.
Okay.
Can my trade director help me find tickets to sporting events, perhaps? Anyone in the network with sporting events?
Once in a blue moon, things come up. But here's the way it works. I'll tell you how we get sporting events. We'll have advertising agencies that are actually the ITEX member agents that are ITEX members, or advertising customers that are members. When they sell, let's say they go to that sporting event and they sell some big ad or ad program or media buy. Well, I guarantee almost any time that happens, they sell part cash and they'll get a bundle of tickets, okay, for name sporting event. Well, that's why almost all those kind of agencies will then join ITEX, because then they don't want all those tickets. They turn around and then turn those back into money, other ITEX dollars they can utilize. They'll keep what they want, and then they'll turn them to us. Then we put them out and say, okay, we have tickets. Remember, we had an ice hockey game. Wasn't it ice hockey? One of our girls, was that it? One of our girls that's on Point IT Solution, we put them out, and she was so excited. It was her favorite team. It was just made her day. But are they there all the time? No, because it's that type of situation. It's when we get them, we put them out, and then they're gone.
Well, I'm going to give a big round of applause for that one, because I'm just going to say now, I need to get with my trade director. There's a couple of sporting events coming up involving the Dallas Cowboys coming to Florida, playing some Bucks and playing some Dolphins. And I would just like to see how this could work. This would be awesome.
You never know. You never know. Ask her.
I just This is on the record. I'm asking now, so I would love to do some trades. If anyone has tickets to games and they want to do some trade, then we can do some trade.
Now you just created the scenario of how we work, how the trade director works. You want something, you have her on speed dial, you pick up the phone, you call your trade director and say, hey, Dallas Cowboys coming in town, see if you can get me tickets. If she can get them on trade, it saves you cash.
And I guarantee you she'll go to every one of those agents that we know or those medias that end up with tickets, and she'll say, do you have any? Are you going to get some?
And call the Dallas office also. So we work it.
We work them.
That's the beautiful thing about this, and that's why I feel like every business owner needs to know. I mean, this is not just about sporting events and so forth, but this is really, we're in business to make a profit. And if you could sacrifice a couple of hours of your service time to turn that into something that you can trade inside of a network. Remember, you're not trading with each other. You're trading inside of a network. So there may be things that you need for your business that someone else can provide. And if you can build up a bank of those trade dollars, you can just get tremendous benefit from this.
Yeah.
So any other examples or anything else? Just some great features that stand out in your mind that's been incredible that you've been able to do with this.
Yeah.
I remember.
Oh, go ahead.
This one is really near and dear to our heart. We had someone that was a single father raising his two daughters through high school by himself, and when they were graduating, he called us and he said, they're about to go off, college, different directions, and it's going to be hard to get back together. Before they go, I want us to have a family vacation, sort of a celebration. We made it through high school and launched them out into the world. And he wanted to go to Hawaii with them. We got them not only airline and that's rare. I'm not going to say that's the usual, but it was one of those cases. We found it and we got it. We got them airline tickets to Hawaii. We got them a private home, a beautiful home that was a private home that they rented out on trade. We got them a vehicle to rent while they were there driving for the 10 days. We got them a sailboat to sail around Diamond Head. We got them a concierge, a chef, a private executive chef that came in every morning, had their breakfast ready. It was a trip of a lifetime. It was just, and it was just so special because that was him launching his two daughters off into the world. And they made it through being a single parent, getting his daughters out into the world. And it was that special vacation for them all to go on together one last time, or especially, it's harder and harder as they grow up.
Got another example. I had a golf course that wanted to reseal coat their road. And the seal coat job ran around 40 grand that they needed to pay. And what did they pay with? The previous summer's empty tee times that I had sent clients up to that golf course, country club, to play. So what was their cost for that empty tee time that they weren't going to have anybody playing on the golf course at that time? I put someone in there, they got paid trade dollars, they had 40,000 that they were able to spend. So 40,000, what's their cash cost for 40,000 of MPT times? Almost nothing. So let's say 12, 14, 15% maybe. What's that? 40,000, that's about 4,000 some. 4,000 some is a lot better than 40 grand.
Absolutely. That's outstanding.
It's a tool. It's a lever.
That's an example. A couple months ago, an attorney called. I need a flight real quick to Vegas tomorrow. Can you get me 2 airline tickets? We don't normally get those, but I made some calls. We were able to get it for him, and he spent $1,000 for 2 tickets, $500 each ticket. For that late, doing it the next day, cash-wise, his cash cost with that airlines was over $600 each. We got it for $500 each on trade. And how he raised the $1,000 to pay for that with ITEX dollars? He gave us some empty time helping some of our other clients that needed will work or trust work or child support work, the things that he does well in law. So he traded empty times. He wasn't going to make anything on those hours, and he ended up paying for his trip to Vegas.
Wow. That's outstanding. Well, again, folks, what we're talking about here tonight is setting up a different type of currency system, thinking outside the box, getting you everything you need, desire, and deserve in your business, but not having to always give up the cash. Give up a little bit of your time and through your service. Get into a trade system where you can trade your time and service, receive value back for that, but then when you need to purchase something, you're able to purchase because someone else gave up their time and service or a value that they had to offer. So really, it's a win-win-win situation. Now, the point of tonight is not for you to purchase anything, obviously, because you can't. You just decide to join if you choose to. And if you choose to join, or if you at least want more information, just fill out the form below. Fill out the form. All you're doing is submitting your name, business, email, phone number, and Jim and Carolyn will contact you. These are professional people. They respect your time and efforts. They're there to help you build your business. They've helped me, and this is helping them. That's why I set this platform up to be able to do this. If you want to get an affiliate link and share this video, please do so. Again, this is entrepreneurs coming together, building currency, building revenue, and supporting business. Jim, Carolyn, are there any final thoughts before we go and that you may want to say?
I'll give you two. One, someone the other day at a network meeting, and he had joined, and afterwards when we were walking out, he said, "Gee, Jim, you set up a checking account and gave me a line of credit on there. It's almost like giving me a credit card to make business purchases that I can then work off anytime I want, from 15 to 20, 25, 30 cents on the dollar." Wow, that's cool. So that's one thing. And let's see, one question a lot of people have that I'll finish with is, some people ask, well, why would I want to take an ITEX dollar over cash? And you wouldn't. Naturally, everybody wants cash first. But when you have excess downtime in your schedule, in your calendar, or empty rooms, or empty chairs in your restaurant, empty dental calendar time, you may as well fill it with excess ITEX revenue. So now you've got a second checkbook with extra dollars in it that you can spend instead of your cash. So yes, you want cash, but when you don't have the opportunity for cash on some of your time during the week, may as well earn some ITEX revenue dollars. There you go.
That's a great point. So I'm so glad you brought that out, because what we're not saying is to trade your business in and just turn it into an ITEX business. No, that's not the point. But you're absolutely right. I mean, there are times when having a bank of trade dollars is important, because then you can get some things that you need without having to spend the cash. And so when you do have that downtime, like Jim said, that's an extremely valuable point. So once again, I'd like to thank you for tuning in tonight. Jim, Carolyn, thank you for your expertise. And anyone that fills out the information there on the form, I'll be sure to get that forwarded to you folks so you can follow up with them immediately. Wonderful. So thank you so much for tuning in. Look for your next invite to our next episode, where we will be interviewing another amazing business owner that's doing some wonderful things in the local area and our communities, helping bring value to entrepreneurs. Again, I'm Eric Lamar, signing off, and want to thank you for listening in tonight. Have a great night, folks.
Good night, Eric.
Night, Eric.